Hello, this is Deborah with Black Education TV. Now, the story that I'm going to share now is something that is becoming all too familiar, and it is where white people are calling the police on us for things or checking us on things, policing us themselves for things as if they're our parents and we need their approval to do certain things or their permission to do things. They are appointing themselves as lords over us. And I'm not talking about just law enforcement. I'm talking about people passing by. The situation I'm speaking of now is where some black men were at a park that allows barbecuing. They allow for citizens to barbecue there, and they have the spaces marked, and they were within the space that is marked. Now, a white woman comes by and sees them, and she proceeds to tell these grown men, a woman, proceeds to tell these grown men that they are not allowed to do this. Now, she is not a police officer. She's not a city official. She is a layperson. A layperson with a job. I'll put it like that. Okay. Because she claimed she owned the park. And I'm guessing that she means because taxpayers pay for the park. In her mind, she owns it. She doesn't have a deed to it, but she says she owns it. Okay. Well, anyway, what happened was there were several women who came to the rescue, and all of them were not black. There were black women, and there was a white woman who actually recorded. There were black women who were speaking up for the men, trying to show the woman who was calling the police the proof that they had a right to be there. And everyone just kind of surrounded this whole situation. And it wasn't just the black women, but there was a white woman as well, in which she said she came out to make a difference because everyone was, explaining how her attitude changed when she came on the scene, but she was being very aggressive towards the black people, which is very, very common. They treat us with aggression, but when they're dealing with one another, there's this calm dialogue going on. And so I wanted to make sure that part was pointed out as well, that there was a white woman, too, who interjected into the situation along with the other people who came by to just kind of see what was going on and offer their 2 cents into the situation to try to diffuse the woman who's sitting there waiting for hours for the police to show up. And apparently they weren't so interested in showing up because a lot of time went by, you see. But I'm glad to see that everyone came to the situation and tried to fix it because it was totally uncalled for. And so they proceeded to tell Becky, well, what are you doing? Why are you harassing these men? Now, that's really what I wanted to focus on right there. Okay. Becky is just being Becky, policing the black men, telling them like they're little boys or little children that need her permission to do something. She's just doing what Becky does, show me your papers, Negro type thing. Far too many times where you see other people harassing or harming or hurting or attempting to kill or just do all kinds of things, overlording us. And most people just step back in fear, don't say anything because they are afraid of the wrath of Becky or Biff. They don't want to get them mad, so they don't say anything. And in some cases, we just cower away or laugh. I mean, just a number of different scenarios play out. Okay. And they told Becky, you need to check the laws because they are within their rights to barbecue. And you can go on and on and on as to whether or not they're allowed to have charcoal versus gas and all this different stuff. And there are issues where if you don't put it out right, kids can be hurt. See, already she's assigning some type of liability to something that hasn't even happened yet. As if these men are so irresponsible that they're not going to put the charcoal grill out properly. You see, already assigning liability to use that subtle witchcraft to say, this is why we don't want you in the park with your charcoal grill. Utterly amazing, the things that these people are doing. Is nothing new. They've been doing it, but there seems to be like some type of an injection of a spirit that has them stirred up to where any little thing that you do as a so-called black person, somebody's going to call the police or report you or harass you or lord over you and tell you, oh, no, you're not allowed to do that, Negro. No, Negro, come here, come here. Let me tell you something, little boy, little girl. I know you're 50 years old, but I'm lording over you. You have no right to do that. You're breaking the rules. Don't break the rules, Negro. Stay in your own lane. Show me your papers. I mean, that's what it seems like we're dealing with here. And it's sad that people think that what I'm saying is considered racist when I'm just pointing out obvious things. You all should get tired of seeing it too. Whether you're black, white, Asian, you should get tired of seeing it too. No one wants to hold these people to charge for the things that they are saying and doing. But everyone wants to hold to charge the victims. Well, why didn't they put out the grill when Becky wanted them to? Why didn't they just leave the golf course? Why didn't they just leave Starbucks when they were asked to? Why didn't they just leave the gym when they were told to? Why don't they do this? Why don't they do that? Why don't they comply? Basically, the message to us is to comply with whatever the heck we tell you to do, or there will be consequences. We're going to call our private bouncers to get you out of here. Sad, but it is the reality that we are faced with today. And until every person, people of all races and colors and nations and all of this, see this as an injustice, these things will continue to happen. But as long as you have people in the comment sections of various tragedies finding ways to accuse victims, making it their fault for what happened to them. The number of people that I saw defending the cops that killed Tamir Rice, 12 years old, in less than 2 seconds, they show up on the scene, pow. Didn't analyze anything, didn't say anything to him, just kill a 12-year-old kid. And the number of people that I saw justifying this as if what they did was proper and correct and within the law. We're talking about a kid. And all the time we're always seeing so-called white people with their guns in public places, just walking freely. No one says anything to them. As a matter of fact, there was a video just uploaded where they were showing these white kids zooming down the street with guns, BB guns, pellet guns. And, you know, those look real, too. But they were just shooting out the windows, just speeding down the street, shooting out the windows. Now, those guns were aimed and armed and loaded and all of that, and they look real. But did anyone call the police? Was anyone arrested? Was anyone shot and killed? Not saying that they should have been shot and killed for that. Not saying that at all. But when you live in a world where you're 12 years old and you're playing with a toy gun and you get shot with no one even asking you a question, they pull up 2 seconds, you're dead. And you have another situation where you have big overgrown teenagers or those in their early 20s shooting BB and pellet guns out the window as they're driving down the street at people, and nothing happens. Then you know that it is very clear that there is a message here that the laws or the balance of justice is only going in one direction. But after a while, that's going to change because it has to. Some people refer to it as the universe always balances things out. I refer to it as the Most High Yah. He's going to balance things out. You can best believe that.